I could be dooming, but I think we're just gonna like watch people like live their lives. They're gonna like have Neuralinks, and we're just gonna stream into other people's lives. I just feel like we're just gonna watch someone when they're doing the dishes. You can just pay to watch the proles do labor or something. I just feel like the film is becoming the book, but the film was a degradation of the book. But the book was basically just a story, and now we just have stories forever, and everything is just primitive again. And no one is smart enough or patient enough to enjoy a movie. And it's kind of a good thing, you know. Like I just want to think. I don't. I feel myself getting dumber when I speak about clavicular because it's dumb. But I just looked, and the New York Times, local news, 60 Minutes. These people bend over backwards for the dumbest possible stuff because they're a bunch of shallow pigs. And it's just going to keep happening, you know. They're just going to keep bending over and for the dumbest possible clickbait. So if you think you don't like journalists, you don't like journalists enough. Respect your local newspaper guy or something. But the TV made everybody dumber. David Lynch tried, right? It never took off here, not in the U.S. He's not good enough to make a blockbuster. He's not going to make Dune. No, no. We need blockbusters. We need a tragic star. Let's get some autistic guy. And it's all, I don't, he's probably not autistic, this guy. Real autism is a lot worse. But he'll say all the right words that I'm autistic, I have anxiety. Ooh, the nerdy kids will like him, the popular kids will like him. It's like they made this guy in a lab. It's kind of weird. It's fishy. And I don't know if they really did, or they also decide who, you know, is going to be popular. And this guy's popular, right? And I can see why they need someone the kids are like. They need someone a little edgy. They're trying to whitewash the right wingers in a way. They're trying to whitewash. Yeah, yeah. They're trying to whitewash Fuentes and Tate and those because they're too powerful. They got to bring them into the mainstream somehow. So they have this sanitized kid who just says, "Oh, I'm not about all the cigars and the myth." I'm not going to say the word misogyny, but you know, I'm not all about the muscles and I'm just about I'm just about the muscles and the looking good, and I don't know about all that crap. You know, I just like to be cool and hang out in Miami. It's so contrived, right? It's like Euphoria, you know. It's all for the kids. This is what the kids grow. So I overheard these two 14-year-olds, these two like less than high school guys. They're kind of like a nerdier type. They're smart kids, and they're like, "You're in the files, like you're in the files, bro." And I'm just thinking, like, what is going on with these children? Like, these children have had harder lives than their parents, and now their parents are gonna have harder lives than them, and now they're gonna have harder lives than their parents, and it's just sad. You know, it's just really sad, and it's and I just I don't see how someone like Trump or someone like, you know, pushing all the crazy garbage. It's not just Trump. You know, I'm not going to pretend it's all the right's fault, but you know, all the people pushing the crazy garbage, like, don't they have a any decency to feel like they need to help the kids? Like, I know they hate the 30-year-olds or anything, but these like 14-year-olds now, like, it's really showing. Like, you have 14-year-olds talking about the pedophiles. mass pedophiles that showed up. Like what? Like what are we doing? Like what? And I'm a weak liberal, right? I'm a weak. Oh, like what are we doing? Like what's going on? Oh my God, we need to vote this out, and we need to, make sure we enact Project 2029, and we these are fun. And it's so weak, It's just the left was too weak for too long. But anyway, this clavicular, it's he's iconic in the sense he's going to put it all mainstream. And when he puts it all mainstream, it's just going to get darker, is what I'm thinking. And it's postmodern art, right? He doesn't need to make music. Things are too degraded. He just needs to show up, take the drugs. It's like Kanye wearing the glasses and saying the crazy stuff, except he's not a musician. Because no one has time for that. You don't have time to watch a movie. I mean, maybe the pros, but even then, nobody's watching the same TV show. And I don't know. I have a sense that TV's on the way out because they kind of can't make interesting stuff. The soul, it's spiritual at this point. I think God needs to come back or something. Not in the sense that we need to find Jerusalem for him to come back, but we, the soul needs to be put back into the machine somehow. The soul and the machines, we're all machines. The soul's gone. The mind-body problem is over. And Andy Warhol's happy because 10 minutes of fame is everywhere. Pop art is everywhere, So everyone's a corporation. Everybody's an artist. Everybody's everything. So nobody's anything. So that's where we're at. Everybody's everything. And nobody's anything. And this Clavicular, he's a postmodern artist. He's a guy who's a smart kid, He's like Jim Morrison. He's like the Jim Morrison of our time. So why listen to music, Why make a film? Why listen to music? People are desperate for money. It costs too much. And you can get all the trappings very easily. And people are too dumb and impatient to listen to an album or, music, it'll hang around. I'm not saying music's going anywhere, but, your era of the pop star, the person must promote more than ever, and the person's life is an artistic endeavor as well. And living well is your star, right? Everybody's a star, and nobody's a star. Look at Hemingway. Look at Fitzgerald. I want to think about the 20s. I don't want to think about 1970. The era of the mass-produced celebrity is gone, but I think the era of the artist living the artist's life is still around. And I don't think Clavicular is going to put out a beautiful novel any week. I'm saying how I live my life. You want to be a little rock and roll, You want to look at David Lynch. I mean, he was rock and roll, right? He was a rock and roller. Look at Anthony Bourdain. It's rock and roll. You know what it is when you see it, Look at Sixto Rodriguez. He's pretty rock and roll. He's just a construction worker. These are my heroes. Nah, I think I respect people that live their lives. And this kid's living his life and people respect it, right? It's very sad though. It's very like, it's kind of how it's always been, but it's kind of a little different, like everything. It's like, I can't go to the club. I wish I could go to the club. The counterculture is like now just being sort of blatantly famous and opulent. Anyway, I'm getting off track. The rock and roll lifestyle, Ernest Hemingway isn't famous because he was on the, because he sat in the same, some guy hired him to talk for 30 minutes. Ernest Hemingway was famous because he went everywhere and did everything, and you heard about it in the news. He wrote a few books, yes, but a lot of his life is just traveling, having a good time, and people thought it was cool. That's why Hemingway's famous. That's why Clavicular is famous. And there's the added tragedy. It's a tasteful little thing. It's a tasteful life. He's like Jim Morrison without all the art. So we're just getting dumber. Jim Morrison couldn't write a book, wrote some poetry, wrote some songs. He died quicker. Hemingway wrote some big books, lived a longer life. Sad ending, too. And it's just going to cascade, you know? Now we're just going to get a, whoa, that guy was like a rock star, like Tupac, you know? People love this kind of stuff. And it's because it's tragic and it's beautiful. It's morbid. It's artistic. You want to see an artistic life led in front of you. And that's all that there is left. People are too dumb to read a book, you know? But I'm trying to live my life and create some things that aren't just stupid, you know, not just talk about politics. Is Nick Fuentes a rock star? Is Hassan Piker a rock star, right? No. No. You need to care about something beyond the republic. You need to care about, you need to be a good person to be a rock star. That's probably maybe a clavicular, isn't, you know? You need to take a lot of risks to be a rock star. What is rock and roll? Is it dead? We'll see. Was Andy Warhol right? It's all just star power, baby. We'll see. Keep tuning in.